Yo, what's up, everyone? Well, I continued my questionable decisions of buying random eBay lots. So it just arrived. So let's take a look and see what's in here. I have an idea. There's a lot of things I don't know, but it's one of those auctions where I think they added pictures along the way and it made it even better. Uh, So, all right. Yeah, got that. It is a bag. Okay, so the bag is stuck to the top here. That makes I would have packed the yo-yos in the bag. All right, we're gonna set that aside. We'll come back to it later while we're here opening this up. So, we have boom. Doo. And there's still more yo-yos in here. And other foam. All right. Anything else in this box? No. All right. Pass that aside. All right, let's start with the tops. Well, the top layer and the tops. We'll start Spintastic's top. I thought it's not the normal cap that Spintastic's tops had, but they always had the rubber O-ring on them, so maybe. Hmm, interesting. I don't know. We'll come back to that, but this should be a Duncan Baron King, and if you use these. This definitely hasn't cracked. It has a weight ring in there, which is always nice, but the lips, the catch area is right here where the cap threads in, always seems to crack, so obviously this one hasn't really been used. Yeah, especially since it doesn't want to go back together. All right, pretend not to be strong. What else do we have here? This is a mini freehand 2. Yep, definitely. It's pretty sweet. It is missing a weight ring on, we got one on one side, not on the other. And what's this other little tiny guy? It is a Omega high performance. Just a fireball. Nope, a brain. It also seems like it was over tightened at some point because it doesn't want to tighten. Oh, there it is. So yeah, a mini Omega brain, which is pretty sweet. Put those right there because if not, we'll lose them. So it looks like we got a lot of yo-yo jams on this side. So we got a Pro Jam. So this is one of the earlier C bearings. We still have Starburst. So pretty sweet. And so we got a white one. Looks like we got we got a green and blue one here, but missing a bearing. This is still nope, still C bearing. So with the old yo-yo jams, you could put shims in there, but you could just adjust the gap. So this is one of the earlier ones with C bearings because they later did the O-ring response. So we got this is one I don't remember seeing. So it's a wooden yo-yo, almost a modified shape. So and this is for the 1990 Top Fuel Champ. So back in the day, BC Yo-Yos sponsored Tony Schumacher. So they had Yo's made up, so I think the pink and the black were standard colors, but I don't ever remember seeing this guy readily available, which is pretty sweet. Um, yeah, I don't ever remember seeing it. Um, At least that shape not in the BC catalog. So I mean that was a special one. This is the Speed Maker, which is the Salcon version of I believe the Speeder for Mickey. Yeah, it says yeah, it says Mickey on there. So yeah, so Salcon version of the Speeder is similar to Palm. So again, C-bearing, 50/50. So you had a O-ring response. You could fill it with silicone, which is what it looks like that is. So it looks like it's kind of worn out. And this side you have Starburst. So pretty cool. Dragon Jam would be next. And so this is one of the early Yo-Yo Jams. They were originally called Dragonfly, but obviously Duncan had to trademark to that, so they had to change it. So if you have the ones with Dragonfly logo on it, then they're obviously more valuable. You have the 4-dot response. It's not really response per se, it was just where the injection molding was. And look at how thin that tiny that bearing is. So that was what early Yo-Yo Jams had. And they were, and this was a pretty responsive throw. So, let's see. This is Spin Factor HG. So HG, so you had the normal plastic body that you'd have on a lot of Yo-Yo Jam yo-yos. This has 50/50 response again. So before they went full O-ring, there was a transition period where all the yo-yos were O-ring on one side, Starburst on the other. But the HG material is actually just higher density plastic, so mixed in with like steel or copper or brass into the plastic to give it a higher density. And um, it actually, on Yo-Yo Jams, it actually made the Yo's more durable. So that, because I mean, plastic has a little bit of shock. As you can see, this one is cracking. So we'll see how um, that holds up. I don't want to put too much pressure on that if that's cracking, but go from there. All right, so it looks like we had the classic brain from the early 2000s there. And if you got a brain, you generally probably have a Raider. So this is 98. So yeah, if you can have an idea of when this collection's from. So Raiders, have you seen a Raider? They haven't really changed. However, this one is missing a spacer. So yeah, all right, get back in there. This is a really tight packed foam. All right, and the last yo-yo is a Pro Fly. So this is Duncan. This is the Duncan version. Yeah. So after they got Playmax, this was one of the yo-yos that they acquired and added to their lineup. So you got the round wooden axle, great for fixed axle, modern fixed axle. It also, since they used the mold for this to make the freehand 2 O-rings also fit this, which is cool. On to the next layer of this glorious thing. I need to find a spot to place this. All right, box comes in handy once again. All right, there we go. So starting back up, we have another Spin Factor HG. No caps, but this one, the hubs look like it's in better shape. We have a Russell Yo-Yo. So Yo 2K. So I'm guessing this was probably from around 2000. We have the other Pro Jam that would match these guys. That doesn't look like a Pro Jam half. The black one doesn't. Hmm, interesting. So, but yeah, you got more Pro Jams, no bearings. What is this? Maybe it's a Patriot? That's my guess. Man. Yeah, that's definitely not semi-confident that's not a Pro Jam. Anyhow, definitely, I don't know. You tell me. What do you guys think? Is that same hash? Maybe it's just a color playing gonna change. Not trying to hit the camera. Put that back together. And we got some metals. So I don't know which one's first. This one is it's from Kyo Toys. This is the Alf. So this is number 96. It looks like it's 98 is what's engraved on there. So this is you follow Kyle Williams on oh, he's always on all the boards. His Yo company, Kyo Toys. This was one of their earlier ones. So it looks like it used recessed diff pads, which surprisingly that might have held up. No bearing, but we got bearings. We can make this work. What's this other one? This is also another Williams. So this is the 5. Three. This is the version 1.618. 168.618. So yeah, and this was another early one. This one had uh reversible spacers. There we go. This was one of the first yo-yos that did this before the Duncan flip side, or there was a Yo Mega that did it as well. But you could do it was basically this is straight C bearing, so it's not changing the bearing type. It was just you could have 3 different um bearing gaps, wall gaps. So, which was pretty cool. The other sweet thing is you missed a case reveal, but this is an Infinite Illusions, which was a yo-yo store that was out many years ago. So, and one of the things they came up with was this star foam yo-yo cutout. So you could fit yo-yos of obviously any size in there. They'd fit nicely, which is really great. Say you have a Outlier 5, boom, fits in the case. That doesn't happen anymore. You had a, this is a super scintillator, fits securely in the case. So, got that. So the back when this case came out, which was what, early 2000, probably '04 or so, we had the Vipers, we had the Pandas. They were the big yo-yo. So, obviously, the yo-yo, the Star allows you to put big yo-yos in there and keep them secure. But, we also, it's right around the time that, well, the case came out, Infinite Illusions was still around when Yo Factory was getting going. So you could hold a 888. I don't know if this will fit. It won't. I mean, it'll sit there, but this is the Shutter Mini, so obviously there's a Yo-Yo too small for it, but the 888s were common around that time, and it fits nicely in there securely, not moving. So all of this was great. They had different sizes. There was, the hard case that holds like 48 Yo-Yos. This was in their little backpack version, which had a, 1 arm sling strap. Wow, I can't get far enough away to do this. Anyhow, we got that, the foam would go right in there, and you'd have an extra little pocket. So, but they made, quite a few different sizes, but yo companies, if you're out there watching, we got to bring this back because I'm tired of yo-yos like Outlier 5 not fitting in there. All right, super scintillator. not fitting in a case, carrying mini yo-yos. Oh, hey, it actually fits in that one. Maybe if the foam is loose. So look, you got all these yo-yos sitting in a case, you know, and not falling out. Whereas normal cases now, if like the Outlier 5 or Super Scintillator, they're in a case, the case won't close or anything like that. This fits great in the case. So bring something like this back. Let's go. That's the video. This is the random eBay lot of me making poor financial decisions like any other day in my yo-yoing adventure. So have a great day, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this. So can unpack this full of yo-yos that I actually use and um yeah, go through the rest. So y'all have a great one and enjoy your day. Bye bye.